the United States Navy. Thank you for being here. Mr. Hall?
Council members, tonight the first item on your agenda is that we're seeking a motion to certify the election and to declare the results of the election. And in order to do that, I will turn the time over to the city clerk, Ms. Jackie Hall.
In accordance with California Elections Code Section 10264, the elections official of the governing body shall enter on its records a statement of the result. So here's the statement of the result. The whole number of votes cast in the city was 4,499. The names of the persons voted for at the election for the office of mayor are as follows in ballot order: Jim Janney and Serge Dedina. The names of the persons voted for at the election for the office of member of the City Council are as follows in ballot order: Ed Spriggs, Elizabeth Saldana, Erica Lowry, Lori Bragg, Valerie K. Aceves, and Jim King. The number of votes given at each precinct to each person is on file in the office of the city clerk and before you as Exhibit A to Resolution Number 2014-7534. The number of votes given in the city to each person is as follows. For mayor, Serge Dedina received 2,200 votes, and Jim Janney received 2,157 votes. For member of City Council, Ed Spriggs received 2,174 votes. Lori Bragg received 1,542 votes. Elizabeth Saldana received 1,431 votes. Jim King received 981 votes. Erica Lowry received 602 votes. And Valerie K. Aceves received 553 votes. Serge Dedina was elected as mayor for the full term of 4 years. Ed Spriggs was elected as mayor, a member of the City Council for the full term of 4 years. I apologize. And Lori Bragg was elected as mayor. No, I'm just kidding. As member of the City Council for the full term of 4 years. So staff's recommendation is to first recite into the minutes the statement of the result, which I've just accomplished. That City Council adopts Resolution Number 2014-7534, reciting the facts of the general municipal election held on November 4th, 2014, declaring the result in such other matters as provided by law. And the city clerk issues certificates of election followed by the oath of office ceremony. And that's the end of my presentation, and I'm available for questions.
So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2014-7534, reciting the fact of the general municipal election held on November 4th, 2014, declaring the result and such other matters as provided by law. And may we have an oral vote, please? All in favor?
A motion first.
Oh, motion?
I'll make
Okay.
a motion.
Yeah. We'll do an oral vote now. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All.
Motion carried unanimously by those present, Janney absent.
At this time, the city clerk will present the certificates of election to the newly elected officials. And once the city clerk is done handing out certificates of election, following the oath of office later, this special meeting will be adjourned, and would like to invite everybody to the community room for a reception to honor the newly elected officials. And then the second special meeting will begin at 6:30 or close to that. So first of all, I'd like to invite Councilmember Spriggs and his wife Leah Goodwin to the front of the chambers. City Clerk Hall will administer Councilmember Spriggs' oath of office. He will then be pinned by Leah. Watch out.
Good evening. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Edward J. Spriggs,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Next, I'd like to invite Councilmember Bragg and her grandson Christopher, the rest of her family, to the front of the chambers. Christopher Bragg Jr. will administer Councilmember Bragg's oath of office after Mr. Spriggs speaks.
It works. It works just fine. Doing great.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, this is truly an honor for me to be reelected for a second term. I have to say thank you to those of you who stood by me for the first elections throughout all these years, despite my mistakes, and supported me in the second, in my second election. I also would like to thank the new members of my supporting group who came forward, helped with a tremendous amount of effort in fundraising and walking and reaching out to others in the community. And that's one of the most gratifying things about running for office in this wonderful town, wonderful community of ours, is that you do have an opportunity to walk all the precincts, meet lots of people, and in this case, I felt I got the support of people across all the political spectrums in our community and across all the age spectrums, all the divisions I felt were in support of me, all the different elements of our community. And I think it shows in the vote tally that you just saw that I did have really good support, and I'm very humbled and very grateful for that. This is a great community. We have nothing to do but go forward, to continue to improve our community, to continue to work together. I would like to see a lot more participation like we're seeing tonight in our day-to-day work of our city council and our city. I think that will make us a better government, a smarter government, if more people are involved. So with that, I'd like to thank you all very much, and I'm very honored to be your city councilman for 4 more years.
Grandson and her grandson Christopher Bragg Jr. to the front of the chambers. Christopher Bragg Jr. will administer Councilmember Bragg's oath of office.
I state your name,
I, Lori Bragg,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and alliance
that I will bear true faith and alliance
to the Constitution of the United
to
States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I will take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Oh, yeah.
What you're seeing on the screen is 2006. So he's grown a bit, hasn't he? Thank you. I do have a few words. Thank you all very much. First of all, for being here. Tonight is truly about our community. It's not about the 3 people up here that have just been elected. It's about the community. But I did want to start out with a message that my sister had sent to me. She's my older sister. I've always looked up to her for advice. She's very wise. So what she sent is very poignant. It's very apropos. It's very elegant. So if you'll just bear with me, you can perhaps hear what she had to say. Anyways, it is a celebration tonight. It's a celebration for the city of Imperial Beach. Obviously, I want to thank my family. Christopher walked precincts for me this year for the first time. But the first time I campaigned, he came up to me and said, "Ma'am, I need one of your signs." And I said, "Well, what are you going to do with that?" I said, "I need a sign and a stick." So we fashioned one of my yard signs on a post, and he marched up and down in front of the house. It looked like he was picketing us. My son Christopher, who was my go-to man for all of my media, my posters, my literature, everything that I put out for my campaign, and my campaign cohort, my campaign precinct walker Jessica, who made it really fun for me, and then of course my dear friends Diane and Christine, who were my 4 a.m. go-to people when I was falling apart some days saying, "This is just crazy," and they're like, "You can do this, we'll get through this." So you guys, thank you very much. I mostly want to thank the people of Imperial Beach who have seen it in their heart, in their soul, in their mind to re-elect me for a 3rd term, to represent you as we go forward in our city. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
And now I would like to invite Mayor-elect Dedina and his family his wife Emily, his son Daniel, and his father Michelle to the front of the chambers. Daniel Dedina will administer Mayor's-elect Dedina's oath of office. He will then be pinned by Emily.
I state your name,
I, Serge Dedina,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Great. Well, I guess this is tall enough. I want to thank everybody for coming. You know, it was a long road, so I might have a few more words than my fellow colleagues on the council, but bear with me. I hope you'll enjoy it. First, I want to thank the amazingly awesome Boy Scouts from Troop 866 for the flag ceremony and the Pledge of Allegiance. Bill Keys is the Scoutmaster, and that was William Keys with the Scouts, Hunter Carr, Jeff Croft, Dominic Heyman, and Mark Santillon. Thank you guys so much. And I was a former Boy Scout, so it means a lot to have you guys here. I want to thank former Mayor Diane Rose for being here. Diane, we appeared on the radio, I think 25 years ago, to talk about clean water. You were one of the best mayors IB's ever have, and I can only do half as much to include the community as you did. I will have had a successful term. Former council member Patricia McCoy and her husband, Dr. Michael McCoy, thank you for all that you've done. I've been working with you for more than 30 years, and I really appreciate all that you've done for IB. You know, I'd like to thank my father, my wife Emily, and my son Daniel for all their support. Emily and Daniel are my biggest supporters and advisors. And despite having taken a bad fall on his three-wheel bike, riding to my son's water polo game, and having his foot in his cast, my dad rode his electric scooter going door to door for me, because nothing stops my 81-year-old immigrant father from going at all. You know, and my dad has been an amazing father to me and my brother, and an amazing husband to my mom, who passed away 3 years ago, and he's been an amazing grandfather to all three of his grandchildren. So thanks, Dad. You know, my son Israel isn't here because he's literally in the middle of finals at Cal Poly. He's in his first quarter at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, where he studies civil engineering. And he's there with Cage Stabenow, the son of my very long-time good friend, Robert Stabenow, who's a IB lifeguard captain. And probably I know that Robert and I were together last year at the retirement ceremony for Benny Holt, and we found out at the same time that Cade and Israel, who started kindergarten together at IB Elementary, had gotten into Cal Poly. I think it was probably one of the proudest days we've ever had as dads. So, you know, it's really important to me to be surrounded by strong fathers and good fathers in IB. There's a group of us that grew up together, and we're very involved with our children, and we've expanded that circle, and being good fathers is very important to us. Thanks, Robert, for all your support, for being a great dad and being a great husband. You know, it also means a lot to me to have this oath of office ceremony presided over by Mayor Pro Tem Robert Patton. I've known him since 1977 when I was a kid, and I learned how to surf at Elm Street, and he was there with all his Elm Street crew, so it's very much appreciated. We worked together as IB lifeguards, actually started the same year together, and I've appreciated your service, Bobby, as a lifeguard, and of course, as a council member, where you've been very clearly instrumental in seeking ways to engage our community more proactively and transparently. Councilmember Bilbray, I'm so grateful for your leadership in being a clear advocate for expanding citizen advisory boards in Imperial Beach and working to make that happen. I was appointed to the IB Youth Commission back in 1978, so I appreciate the importance of building the next generation of leadership in IB. Councilmember Spriggs, it has been very instructive for me to see your leadership in working and building a strong vision for the revitalization of Seacoast Drive. So I look forward to working with you to use the Seacoast process as a model for engagement on Palm Avenue as we move forward with that on 13th Street. Thank you for all your service to IB. And Councilmember Lori Bragg, you know, we first worked together to advocate for the coast more than 20 years ago with you in the Chamber of Commerce. And I can't think of anyone who has a more extensive and in-depth knowledge and dedication than IB than you. Honestly, you embody IB. IB local all the way. It's really awesome to be able to work with you. Thank you for your service to our city, and I look forward to working with you to build and encourage more civic engagement and participation by our residents and local organizations, and work more collaboratively as a council. You know, my first real job in my life was the city of IB back in 1981 at the age of 17 when I became an IB lifeguard. It's an honor for me to have all my brothers in the IB lifeguard service here. It's really great, and my colleagues at the Silver Strand Lifeguard Service, where I also worked to help put myself through college. You know, and I have a long history of working with and for the city, but it's been a pleasure to get to know City Manager Andy Hall, who's really, really awesome. You can really tell he grew up in Wyoming. He really likes to talk, and I think that's been we've really seen a sea change in how we engage the public since he's come here. It's also been awesome to get the professional assistance of City Clerk Jackie Hall and also City Attorney Jennifer Lyon. Thank you very much. You know, we have a great team in the city of IB. It's a pleasure, and I think there's about 130-something employees, and about 43 of them live in IB. That's an extensive impact on our city, and it's great to see people who so passionately love working here. I also want to thank our San Diego County Sheriff's Department. I'm not sure if someone's here from the Sheriff's Department tonight, but I served on the Sheriff's Community Advisory Board with Bob Miller and others, and for the past 2 years, and I know firsthand how lucky we are to have such a dedicated and professional team of public servants working with our city and community in IB. And you know, there's some people who really played a large role in getting me to this point, and that's former IB council member Hazel Bailey, who appointed me to the IB Youth Commission when I was in high school. Thank you, Hazel. Has been a mentor ever since. And my former council member and my neighbor Claire Buckley, who was also provided guidance and great advice, and also her beautiful City of IB pin when she was appointed to the council. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the dozens of volunteers who helped me over the course of our grassroots campaign over the last 10 months. And it was Josie Hamada and her husband Steve who was there every step of the way. You know, it was the hottest summer on record, and Josie and I walked for 2 to 3 hours every day of it. And I was continually amazed by Josie's passion for helping our community. And so thank you, so thank you for your help. And everyone else who's here, all of you are here. Thank you so much for all your help and all the meet and greets and really walking. We walked. And I knocked on 5,000 doors this summer and over the fall, and it was a very humbling and rewarding experience to have really people let you in their lives. And I'm honored that some of those folks who really inspired me to keep going are here tonight. And I want to shout out to Mrs. Norma Goff, who is here and is here. And Mrs. Goff, you were the first person who told me that you had voted for me. And it was one of those days where I'd been walking for 4 months, and it was really long, and it was really late, and you opened your door, and you had that huge smile, and that was like jet fuel for the campaign. So thank you very much. And I posted that photo of me and you on Facebook, and it was the most popular photo. Your smile lit up the entire volunteer team of our campaign. So thank you so much. It was fitting that I started the day standing on the dune overlooking the Tijuana Estuary and the Pacific Ocean at the south end of Seacoast Drive with longtime friends, because that's my favorite spot in the entire world. And it was probably because that was the first place my dad drove us to back in September 1971 when our family moved into a house on a cul-de-sac on the 1400 block of Hemlock Avenue. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. And I'm lucky that I had a wonderful childhood, and I made even better by the mentors and teachers who guided me at Berry and Harbor View Elementary Schools, the Boys and Girls Club, Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and Little League, and the City of IB, where I took recreation department classes. And it was that ethos of community spirit and volunteering and leadership, whatever organization I was involved with, that has formed my worldview and desire to serve Imperial Beach as mayor. But it's really my parents, my mom, who really instilled that effort, that spirit of me to give back and really help make the world a better place. My mom spent her childhood being bombed by the Germans in London, and it was amazing to me that my mom, I won't get too emotional, but my mom said it wasn't the fact that 20 kids were killed in her neighborhood hanging out at an ice cream parlor by a German bomb, that her mother's home was blown up by a V-2 rocket, and my grandmother survived. But it was the fact that she spent evenings in those bomb shelters, and that an evening could make or break her if either someone treated her with respect and dignity and her family, or someone was awful uncivil. And that's something that really has carried me through my entire life. And it was also the experiences of my father and his family. My dad came to America in 1939 to escape the Nazi occupation of Europe, but a lot of his family members were sent to concentration camps. And there's something that my dad has always instilled in me, and that's everyone deserves to be treated equally and fairly. Everybody deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. And more importantly, our government should do everything it can to treat people fairly, equitably, with dignity and respect, and encourage everyone to participate in a transparent and very nice government. And I think we have the opportunity to do that in IB. So I look forward to working as mayor to work with our council to expand the number of folks that are involved in our city with citizen advisory boards. I think that's how I got involved in government. We need to build the next leadership, generation of leadership in IB. That's so important. I look forward to starting, actually, and thanks to Diane Rose, really inspiring that idea to starting a tradition of a mayoral advisory commission. And Ken Blisman of the Boys Club actually gave me a binder with all the notes from your meetings and agendas. And it was remarkable how detailed those meetings were and how robust the discussion was. So I think that's something really important to bring back. And I look forward to working with our council, our staff, the business community and residents to help promote economic development that helps to balance our need for revenue and jobs with maintaining our small town character and using revenues to improve our neighborhoods and pave our alleys, paint our crosswalks, and install streetlights. All the things that make a big difference in helping our kids and families live better lives from IB, from Seacoast Drive all the way to 15th Street. But most importantly, I look forward to working with our city council and city staff to make our council meetings even more resident-friendly and open to everyone. Starting with a meeting right after this, we'll be having children from different schools and organizations help deliver the Pledge of Allegiance before each meeting. I think that's really important to make sure we get kids involved in understanding that it's their local government and that they have to really prepare to take control of that local government when they're adults. And we'll make sure that residents are given every opportunity to express their viewpoints on their local government. So I thank everyone for doing you're all for IB, and I know that if we all work together as a team, because that's how I was raised as an IB resident, that we will continue to be. And remember this, IB is the coolest, friendliest, and most beautiful blue-collar beach town in the entire USA. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now I'm supposed to announce that we're going to have refreshments, but I'll let you.
Soon.
Okay.
We do have a little business, Madam Clerk. Do you have any speaker slips? None at this time. So, meeting is adjourned, and I would like to invite everyone to the community room for refreshments. Thank you for coming.